One of my ladies asked me a very, very beautiful question. And the question was, Remy, how did you start merging the Remy that you were with the Remy that God has called you to be, with that future that God has shown you? And I said to her, I started acting like that Remy. So what do I mean? I started asking myself questions like, that future Remy, will she be eating this right now? If the answer is no, I drop it. Will that Remy be friends with this kind of person? Will that Remy be doing this thing I'm doing right now? And every time the answer was no, I dropped it. I only kept on doing things that were helping me become that version of me that God has called me to be. Because oftentimes we talk about preparation meeting opportunity. And one thing I realized was it had become an aspire to Maguire thing. It just sounds good. But were we actually preparing to become that person? And I realized that no. And it goes beyond you saying, God forbid, that is not me, and just praying. I needed to start acting. And that was why I started, and I'm still doing it every day of my life, preparing towards that woman that God has called me to be. Because I realized that every day that I'm doing things right, every day that I'm dropping the habits that don't align with that version of me, I'm moving a step closer to that woman. And what I don't want is when that opportunity comes, I'm not ready, I'm not prepared, or I get into that space where God has called me to be, and then imposter syndrome comes. Why? Because I haven't been preparing to become this woman that I have suddenly found myself to be. And that was my answer. And it's my answer right now that every day, you need to show up as that version of you that God has called you to be. Don't look at your current situation or what you're looking like. Look at what God has called you to be as far as your eyes can see. Who has God said that you are? Begin to work like that girl. Begin to talk like that girl. Begin to sit like that girl. Begin to mingle with the kind of people that that girl will mingle with. Don't commonize yourself. Don't belittle yourself, thinking that you need to look a certain way to fit into the description that God has said you are. No. For God to call you and say that you're going to become that woman, you have all that you need. So begin to walk into that aspect of who you are, and you'll be amazed at the growth that will happen in such a short time.